Hello and welcome to the second Core 64 devlog. This one's going to be done live without a script. This is going to be my last attempt. I've tried this so many times. I got some notes this time. Hopefully that helps. We're going to take a look at some footage I've recorded. Shut up, car. Over the past few months and talk about it, and then take a look at the current state of the game. We're also going to open up the very first game I made, which is what this game is based off of. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm probably going to miss a lot. I'll just make another video addressing the questions if there's enough. First thing we got on screen here. This is kind of the original plan for this game. We have this nice game called Super KOUR. It's a short 3D collectathon inspired by platformers like that from the 1990s. Really good game. My plan was to kind of replicate its formula of having like 8 levels and just the simple gameplay where you just, collect the stuff and run around. I mean, the gameplay is just that. You got fun movement and things to collect. Classic collectathon stuff. I also figured because of the low poly models and textures, it'd probably, be easier for one man to get done. Lastly, I figured for the movement system of that, because that's, half the fun, I would use the movement system from the game I created previously. We'll check that out. So I made this over the course of a couple of years. I think it released in May of 2022. Don't quote me on that. I released it for free because I didn't feel like it was, worth the value of a full game. It's got a lot of bugs. It's, I don't know, it's just a very niche sort of thing. It wasn't very polished. But this version is a lot less fun than the new one I got for a lot of reasons. One, this old game here was just time trials, nothing else. Mostly linear levels, and pretty much all linear because they're time trials where you just go point to point. Or I guess this one doesn't have the points on it. You just kind of I guess there is a point. Okay, never mind. I think some levels don't, though. I haven't played this in a while. But either way, the movement, it probably looks pretty decent for me playing it right now with you guys watching, but you gotta remind yourself that I made this and spent thousands of hours or something like that, so it's kind of natural to me. But either way, this version of the game feels like doo-doo compared to what I got now. That's what I'm trying to get at. I figured I could take that movement system and mash it with the Kiwi, and it'd take a month. And boy, was I wrong. It's been like almost 3. So, yeah, so much for that. So, this is from April 3rd, a month and 3 weeks ago. Let's let it play out. This is the intro cutscene I was talking about in all the other devlog. So you can probably see it's pretty dark. Didn't really bother messing with the lighting too much. I was just trying to work on getting the base of the levels made. This was my attempt at a little tutorial cutscene, just kind of showing what you need to grab. In later iterations, there was text saying oh, pick up these things and these things too. And yeah, but overall, the tutorial thing here I got going didn't do a good job at teaching the game mechanics very well. Every time I ran a playtest, people would have some sort of problem learning things. Let's see. Something else we can note here, if you watched the last devlog, I think the golf ball was in that, but in this version now it can collect everything in the game. So you can kick the golf ball into the stars or the orbs or the coins to collect them. So I think that's pretty cool. Alright, we're going to skip ahead. Just some collectathon gameplay there, running around grabbing stuff. So right here is the next big thing I want to talk about, is the hub world. I decided to do a art museum, or art gallery type thing. This is good because I can use any art I've ever made and just throw it on the wall. If I painted something 10 years ago, I can just take a picture of it and put it in the game, or stuff like that. Anything I made in Blender that didn't, actually have a purpose, I could make it as a statue or part of an exhibit, or it just opens up a door for a lot of cool creative ideas. You can make the levels exhibits, so like if you want a level about a castle, you can make a castle exhibit, and then you go into the exhibit, and then you're in the level. It's kind of a cool little thing. If you watch the first devlog, there was like vendor coins. Those have been changed to marbles, and then you just trade them with this guy, so there's no like store or anything now. It's just this guy who he lost his marbles, and you got to get him his marbles back. The marbles kind of act as like the more exploratory thing. Like they're more hidden, so they kind of just encourage you to go look around, use the movement, and just run around the map and find them. In this version of the game, there's only like one marble per room or per level, but that's been updated because pretty much everyone who played the game said they wanted more marbles to find. At this point in the game, there's 52 stars. The current version's got 95. Here we got a falling level, so I wanted to add some like side content sort of things. I feel like a lot of old Collectathon games and games I was into just had like weird little side modes like this that last for like 20 seconds, kind of like this does. So I wanted to capture that sort of vibe. Got a couple of those kind of levels, and then in the current version there's another one that has like a different style. The next thing we got going on here is the slide levels. If you ever played like any of the Jack series or Super Mario 64 or just a bunch of games have slide levels, I wanted to have a slide level, so we got a couple of those in the game. This is one of the harder ones because it's got the edges you can fall off of, and then this is like the easier version where you're contained inside of it. But still, you got things to collect and things to dodge, so there's always something to be doing. And like the way the movement works is kind of weird. Like moving side to side kind of increases your speed for whatever reason, but I kind of like it because it's fun to play with. Oh, now we got the dryer going in the background. So this is one of the first main levels. Back at the start when I showed the little slide with the kiwi on it, I was talking about how I wanted 8 main levels. This is kind of what I mean by that. It's just an open world little place here where you can kind of just pick the route. It's built to be very smooth in all directions, so you can kind of just go any way you want, and there'll be like, good opportunities to move around and get to everywhere. It's very interconnected with, just random things scattered about, as you can see. I mean, it might be hard to tell what I'm grabbing right now because everything's kind of placeholder, except for the coins, which even the name for that's kind of placeholder. They're more like orbs or energy, or I don't know. But we had a character there, a little NPC guy, just the placeholder version. Still need to add more of those to the game, but I'm gonna do that after I get the art for the levels done. In this version here, we have all the base UI, I think, for the most part, if you look at the top, but it's all in just text. So I'm gonna skip ahead here. I guess one more thing to note is these level layouts are pretty final, even in this build from like a month ago. They've been tweaked a bit here and there to adjust for changes in the movement values, but this one is pretty much the same as it is now, but they all are going to be rebuilt in Blender because of the way I have to texture the levels. Here we have a timer level. This is another one of like the little side content things. These are just meant to be more kind of linear and directed, because the main levels are just kind of like open-ended, like go where you want, take your time, and this is just kind of the opposite of that, straightforward path, time limit. All these levels were kind of designed with like a gameplay first in mind. Like I have a rough idea of what I want things to look like, but it's not like I sat down and was like, oh, this is gonna be that, or this is gonna be this. It's like I just made stuff that's fun to jump around on, and I figured I'd come up with it later. So that's gonna be one of the hardest parts is gonna be like texturing everything and making it look like cohesive. That's like the thing I'm on right now. It's what's taken a lot of time for me. Oh, so originally, like I said, I wanted to do the Super Kiwi 64 style in kind of gameplay mechanics. And in that game, whenever you collected stuff, it wouldn't like, Like, see these orbs in front of me? If I collected those and then I left the level, they would spawn back unless I collected every single one in the whole level. So when I originally started making this, I had that same sort of, I had it programmed that same way. But I'll pause it right here. One reason it doesn't work in my game very well is because the maps are way bigger. Like, this is just probably like 4 times, maybe like 3 times the size of a Super Kiwi 64 map. So that's one reason it doesn't work. And 2, it's a parkour game, so you notice there has to be a whole bunch of walls everywhere in order for the movement to be optimal and fun, which means things are going to be obscured in your vision at almost all times. Like, was it 36 left, and you can only see 5 on the screen, or 6. But yeah, that's another issue. So I had to reprogram all that and make it so each individual coin and like everything you pick up saves its location and stuff, so when you come back it's gone if you did pick it up. And you know, might sound like an easy thing, but it was quite the task for me. And I am glad it works and it's over with. We got these little NPC guys running around. At this point in the game, I believe they were done completely on animation. Actually, no. So at this point, they're NPCs, but in between the first devlog and this video, they were all on animation. So like, I had to make the animation of them going around the map myself. It takes a lot of time if you want to change their animations, if you know, like you change any part of the map or whatever. I ended up swapping them to NPCs, and that was a good decision, even though it took a little bit of time to learn, because I can just make the paths for them in a very short amount of time. It's as simple as just like dragging a couple points around and then they just go point to point. So this is like the fruit game, I call it. You gotta catch a certain amount of fruit to win, and if you let 5 hit the ground, you lose. This is loosely inspired by the Jack and Daxter fish mini game, which you'll even see a more inspired version of that too, because this is like the harder version of that. Yeah, it was quite hard in this version because the spread of the area and like the randomness could mean if they spawned on the opposite side, you could like not get them and not reach the limit, basically. Like, it was pretty much guaranteed to lose, but that's been tweaked and fixed heavily. It's a lot more fun now. Another one of the main levels here. This one is treetops. Supposed to be just like a giant forest, if you can kind of imagine that little. All these platforms would be basically logs. Oh yeah, this golf course got changed a lot too. If you could look at it now, it's really boring. There's like no real choices you can make. You just hit the ball forward, and that's like all you could do. So I changed that heavily, so there's a lot more choice in the new golf course. A lot more things to bounce it off of. Way different ways to use like the angling on it and whatnot to get like less hits on the ball. Also in the future, we got like a ball counter, like a ball hit counter. So like every time you touch it or kick it, it ups the counter, and then when you score at the end, it gives you like a golf score, you know, like they say like bogey or whatever the heck. I don't play golf, so I got mine named stupid things like booger and Duke and just, I don't know, just other grackle, silly words, goop, stuff like that. This is the fish game here. I think it takes me a second. There we go. This is the very first version of it. It's been tweaked, so it's not. They don't fall as fast now. They're going crazy at this point. And also, their speed increases every single time you collect one. So at some point, it becomes impossible. Well, I guess not impossible, because you could get stupid luck where they just all come from the same side. But yeah, this is very heavily inspired by the Jack and Daxter fish game, but it's just using gravity, kind of just programmed in an easier way, I suppose. This is a little chase game thing where you just gotta stay within range of it. If you get too far away, it restarts. I tried to make the collectibles in a way on this level to where you can collect most of them while following this for like speedrunning purposes, and I wouldn't be surprised if you could probably get everything while following it if you were like that good. But yeah, I try to make the levels with like a certain smoothness in mind, if that makes sense. Certain like flow to the levels. We're gonna go to the next video. So let's just skip in like the middle of this. This is a race between me and Goofy. Goofy358, the Jack 3 speedrunning legend. So I'm on top, he's on bottom. You know what's new? Goof always losing me. No, I'm kidding. But okay, so something, if you look in his screen here, he's going to be using the bouncy ball power a lot. And this is super fun. It was suggested by my brother. Basically, it just bounces you. So if you come from a certain height and you bounce, you're going to go up to that same height you were at when you dropped. And it's just really fun. I removed the crouch high jump as like a default part of the movement. I've kind of considered making the bouncy a default part, but I haven't done that yet. I'm still kind of considering how to work the powers in completely. But another new addition here at this point is Goof is on a lava level. I also added some conveyor belt levels where it's like you're on a conveyor belt and you gotta like dodge stuff, kind of like the Mirror's Edge train segment or that game Fusion Frenzy on like the Xbox, where you're jumping up and down on that screw or whatever when the thing it's spinning around, you gotta like dodge the stuff. Yeah, that kind of thing. On the top here, I got a sort of level similar to that game called Refunct, where like you hit buttons and like stuff keeps popping up. Here's an updated version of the Fruit game. You can see the hub still has no art. I'm sure that, another thing here is we got the updated UI. Updated UI for all this stuff, so it's not just text everywhere. We got like, there's a save game at this point. Go back to the start here, with shows your star count, your percentages, that stuff. I think that's enough to show from this build. We can just go open the game now. So this is the new intro level. Kind of designed in a more linear way to force movements more. Like, so now you have to do this so you know that you can wall climb. And like here you're forced to do wall runs. So just hopefully more intuitive and easier to understand. Like this one shows you can turn on the wall, hopefully. I'm probably still going to add some like more pictures to like demonstrate stuff more. Like I'll have like a little dude sliding there or something, some picture of that or something like that, you know. But it should just be a lot more intuitive at this point than the old version. As you can see, we're still in the early stages of art. That's what I'm spending a lot of time on now. I've got pretty much, I'd say most of the gameplay is like done. It's pretty final. I'd like to add more, but I've already spent too much time on this. We're 2 months over estimate, and there's still probably another month in the hole. But yeah, this is pretty much the same overall layout as the original, just updated a little bit. Let's go ahead and go look at the hub. So starting to get some art assets in there. These are the timer levels. They all got some sort of representation of time. Been doing all the textures and modeling and whatnot. Stuff like my bench and my garage door, cameras. This guy's old, but just art gallery type stuff. Ignore all those in the background. Spooky paintings. Little plant. So right now I got the powers just in this room. Like I said, I'm still not sure how I want to implement them, but the bouncy ball is it's too much fun, so it's probably gonna end up being at least like something you will like end up getting like more or less, because it's just so fun. It's bouncing. But yeah, I've been hand painting all the textures, so that takes a minute. Making all the models and stuff. Got some locked doors, some little animations and whatnot. Currently in the process of remaking all the levels in Blender. I think I said it earlier, but what I'm doing is taking all the pieces on Unreal and combining them and then exporting that to Blender. Here's the updated fish game. Still needs a little bit of work, but it's pretty close to what I want it to look like visually. Oops, missed a fish. But yeah, we're gonna let that end. These walls are not supposed to be there. I was testing something. But yeah, let me go. I think at the main menu we have some updates to that too. So before you could see all the UI and stuff on the screen, like the collectibles and whatnot. We got that fixed. I plan to have a movement guide because some of the movement is I don't know, there's some things that just really help to know, and if you know them, you will play the game quite differently, more or less. But yeah, we can delete saves, have multiple saves. It all works. It's been tested. So I mean, I've started to get some of the art done. Still need work in a lot of places, but it's coming along. Like I said, it takes time. I make all the textures and models and stuff myself, and I often have to learn how to do that kind of stuff. Let's go talk about the fruit game. So this one's been updated a lot. Got UI, particle effects, fruit mesh, they splatter. Stuff like that. Shows your best score, how many you got in the last round. I still need to add NPCs to a lot of places. Like I want to have one here. I want to have a crazy fruit guy. I want to have one for the fish game. Stuff like that. Conveyor levels, I didn't get to show those before, so we take a look at those. It's fun, just a fun little kind of dodging mini game. People were always people were asking for this kind of thing, so you just know what you have on the level, so you don't like waste time going in and out of levels. Also, if we go into the level, we got the pause menu, and it shows you the exact things that you need. I guess I can just talk about the overall, I guess like the future, what I'm doing now, and yeah, we'll stand here for a moment. So the last like month after the video we saw with the race, I've just been fixing bugs, making the art, adding quality of life changes, updating the UIs, like things like you can toggle it on and off. There's animations for it, just all that simple stuff that you don't really think about. But yeah, I've just been developing the art style and kind of, figuring out a way to get it all to look good together. I mean, I think it looks good. It still kind of captures that N64 and old goofy game sort of vibe, but the textures, I had to make them a little more high quality. Like I can't do 64 by 64 textures. One of the big reasons for that, I think, is because this is a first-person game, so your face is always against the stuff, and it's a parkour game, so your face is always against the stuff. A lot of the older games, they're 3D, or not 3D, they're third person, so the camera's like 10 feet behind you. You never get, I don't know why I said it like I had an accent there. You never get too close. But yeah, in this you do get close, so the textures kind of need to be a little bit higher quality. But like I said, I think it still captures the same kind of vibe of those games. I'm not going to change the name because, like I said, it still captures the vibe to me, and it rhymes. KOUR 64. It's got a rhythm to it, and it's like the same style of game as those 64s. So yeah, I've been remaking the levels in Blender, and also like making assets. We got like a SpongeBob door. Golf course is looking more golf course like. So on and so forth. Takes a bit of time, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna look a lot better because of this. But I don't know. I am like, like I hand painted this. I don't even know what this is, but it looks like it should be on a boat, so it's on my boat. Close this. We have, oh yeah, I can show some other sort of completed looking levels. A lot of this hub still needs work, like these tree leaves I'm not too thrilled about. Obviously these, this is old, this isn't even like, this is the first like a combined version of the mesh. But I'm gonna put the actual finished level basically there, or make like a new little boat display. Got my little third eye door because you're sleeping, you know, little dream state, you know. Slide. So this is kind of the art standard. I would like most of the game to be. These snowmen are still untextured, and I think these icicles explode when you hit them. Yeah, I need to update those particle effects and whatnot. But something like this, and then, you know, it still needs a little work, but if I can get that sort of standard on all the levels and kind of similar to this hub and art, I'll be pretty happy. Got this other level here. That's looking pretty good. It's one of the falling levels. It's much more of a vibe now. Almost like it's like a VHS tape or something. So, I mean, like I said before, the gameplay is pretty much done. I have a ton of ideas and stuff that I'd like to add, but we're already 2 months over estimate, and I probably have another month of full-time work on this, so I can't really justify adding anything else until I get this done. And then if it goes well enough, I'll add more. I want to add a whole bunch of stuff. So most of the future development time is going to be spent on remaking the levels and texturing them, making the props and stuff, adding the NPCs and making them kind of lively is going to take a little bit of time. Still got to polish up some of the movement stuff a tiny bit, and some of the levels. Got some bug fixes still. I have to make it a whole soundtrack. Still need to record most of the sounds and process them and whatnot. And then, like, I won't make any promises of stuff that's not going to be in the game, but like stuff that I would add if it went well, I'd probably want to like figure out how to do like a Steam workshop, because, you know, then you could have like infinite levels. And also maybe just want to make a harder set of levels, like a second hub. Alternate game modes would be cool, like infinite modes, like where you got like an open world sort of city thing, and you just got to go objective to objective and get like a score based on your time and your style or something, and like what objectives you grabbed along the way, and, you know, just stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Probably not gonna make another devlog sort of thing. Like I said, I'll do a Q&A if I got questions, but at this point it's just like doing a whole bunch of art and sounds and polishing things, so it's not really like there's a whole lot to talk about. Hopefully this video covers most stuff. Yeah, I plan to get the Steam page up and running soon. Join the Discord if you want more updates, or turn on like YouTube notifications for when I drop the trailer or the game. And yeah, thank you for watching, supporting the project. Can't wait to have it finished and in your hands, and yeah, see you later.